Morning, Namaskar, Vanakkam. Honorable Secretary CPB and OIE Ma'am, respected JSOE and PG Sir, distinguished officers, RAs, and participants. A very warm welcome to all of you to this workshop on training and capacity building for recruiting agents being organized by the Overseas Employment and Protector of Immigrants Division of Ministry of External Affairs. We all have gathered here for this workshop to discuss at strengthening coordination, improving compliance, and enhancing clarity on procedures relating to immigration processes and recruitment practices. There are 4 sessions lined up for this workshop, followed by an interactive session at the end of the 4th session. To formally commence the workshop, I now invite Srimati Shripriya Ranganathan, Secretary, Consular, Passport and Visa and Overseas Indian Affairs Division in Ministry of External Affairs, to deliver welcome remarks. Ma'am, may I request you to kindly address the gathering?
The presence of the RA fraternity in this workshop reflects your continued commitment and dedication to professional growth, as well as to the strengthening of the immigration framework in our country. I'm also happy to see that the OE and PGE division has taken the step to organize this timely and in-person workshop for the benefit of the recruiting agents so as to enhance the effectiveness of our immigration ecosystem. This is an important initiative, especially in the light of various reforms introduced in the past few months, which require constant learning, upgrading, and knowledge sharing. I see this workshop as a continuum in our constant efforts to keep our stakeholders engaged as our immigration framework evolves towards more openness, becomes more technology-driven, and becomes more responsive to the requirements of the international job markets, while remaining sensitive to the aspirations and the welfare of our own community in India. Last year, the very first of its kind RA Conclave was successfully organized here in this very hall, and that helped us to get very useful feedback from all stakeholders. Based on that feedback from the RA community, a number of reforms have been introduced, including discontinuation of the requirement of country-specific orders for nurses, digitalization of the RCs, and so on. Another significant and far-reaching initiative was undertaken in June 2025 when an RA delegation visited Moscow and St. Petersburg with the active support of the OE and PGE division in partnership with our embassy in Moscow and our consulate in Petersburg. I am told that the RAs found this interaction to be very useful and were able to build contacts with the Russian employer fraternity over there. Friends, as per the Immigration Act of 1983, the RAs occupy a position of immense responsibility within the overseas employment framework. RAs are not merely instruments facilitating job placement abroad, but also serve as a legitimate guide to the numerous aspirations of our talented immigrants, who in turn rely on you for guidance, accurate information, and employment prospects. The integrity, efficiency, and professionalism with which RAs discharge their responsibilities guide not only the welfare of our overseas brothers and sisters, but also reflect the overall reputation and reliability of our immigration framework. The Ministry of External Affairs has introduced revamped and upgraded e-migrate interface to make the immigration processes and workflows more transparent and user-friendly for all stakeholders, especially for the RAs. However, it has been observed that there are still some gaps in terms of the data of number of immigrants who have been sent overseas, filing of monthly returns, transparency in posting of advertisements, adherence to extant rules and regulations, and so on. Also, there are a number of upcoming employment opportunities in different geographies, and the demand mapping for this is now underway. I'm sure that the OE and PGE division will keep RAs apprised about such developments, and wherever required will take feedback to make sure that proactive steps are being undertaken by the government to fully capitalize on these opportunities for our skilled talent. In this era of rapid technological advancement and evolving regulatory standards, the immigration landscape has become increasingly complex. Global expectations surrounding ethical recruitment, transparency, and worker protections have grown significantly. The virtual space is also unfortunately being exploited by illegal and unscrupulous recruiters who misguide our youth and lure them with false job promises in dangerous environments. We have seen this playing out in just a few months ago in the Southeast Asia. Consequently, it has become essential for all stakeholders to constantly update their knowledge, refine their processes, and align with best practices. I am happy that the first session in today's workshop is intended to focus on such challenges posed by illegal recruiters who dupe our youth in the name of employment overseas, and on the role of our law enforcement agencies to prevent and check such activities. Friends, this capacity building workshop has been designed to serve as a platform for structural learning, meaningful dialogue, and collaborative engagement for all stakeholders, particularly the RAs. Through expert lead sessions and interactive discussions, our aim is to enhance our collective understanding of regulatory provisions, new system enhancements and workflows, documentations, standards, compliance requirements, and to check growing job scams in the virtual domain. I would also like to clarify that the capacity building workshop is not limited to just understanding rules and procedures. It should focus on cultivating the values for which we must stand, those of integrity, diligence, accountability, and empathy. Every application that is processed and every immigrant who is guided should reflect the highest standards of professionalism. Even minor lapses in our work can have far-reaching consequences for workers and can affect the credibility of our system as a whole. Our government is fully committed to putting in place an open, legal, transparent, and immigration framework undergirded by an efficient and technology-driven migration framework. For the success of this system, this active cooperation and involvement of each and every one of you is essential. Each of you are partners in this quest of ensuring safe, ethical, and orderly migration. I would ask and encourage all participants in this workshop to take advantage of the sessions, bring forward your concerns, share your insights, share your suggestions from your experience on the field, and give us suggestions on improving service delivery through eMigrate. Your suggestions would be truly invaluable, and we will take on board all practical ideas to make our systems better. I'm sure that this workshop will be a meaningful and practical contribution to the work that you do and provide an opportunity for thoughtful exchange. I would like to lastly compliment my colleague, JSOE and PGE, the Protector of Immigrants, for Surinder Bhagat for the excellent work that he has put into making this session possible. And I look forward to a great series of discussions ahead. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful and encouraging words. Ma'am, I would kindly request you to please wait on stage, as sir would be presenting a token of appreciation for your guidance. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Shri Surinder Bhagat, PG sir, to share his remarks with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Anshul. Honorable Secretary CPV Ma'am, Additional Secretary from MSDE Sudhanshu Sir, IG Police Rupa Ma'am, fellow POEs, officers from the OE PG division, members of RA community, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank our Honorable Secretary Ma'am for giving us this opportunity and her approval to organize this workshop for all RAs. I must also appreciate that given the fact that one of the important responsibilities of Ma'am is to handle our relations in the Gulf region, and given the current level of hostilities in the region, and despite that, Ma'am has decided to come and grace this occasion. It's truly, truly remarkable for us, Ma'am, and very, very special occasion for us. I really thank you for that, Ma'am. It also, in a way, reflects the importance which MEA places to the subject of safe, open, legal migration. And I also thank you, Ma'am, for clearly laying down your vision for OEPGE division in your remarks. It will act as a guiding light for all of us who have gathered here in this hall, as well as those of us who have joined us virtually. All the POEs have joined us virtually, ma'am. Today's workshop is one of the several initiatives undertaken by the ministry to engage key stakeholders in improvising immigration ecosystem and further fine-tuning it to meet the current requirements. In my brief remarks, I will focus on the operational and implementational aspects of our immigration framework. The overseas recruitment ecosystem today is increasingly structured around e-governance, data integrity, and process standardization. The division has invested substantial time and effort in strengthening digital infrastructure to ensure transparency, minimize human interface, and streamline approval processes. Further, features such as online tracking, real-time alerts, integrated communication modules, etc., are designed to minimize ambiguity and expedite processing. However, the effectiveness of this system depends fundamentally on the quality of input data submitted at the application stage, which is primarily done by our recruiting agents. Inaccurate data entry, incomplete documentation, or non-adherence to prescribed formats not merely delays processing and approval, it also affects system efficiency and creates avoidable delays. Technology can only function optimally when stakeholders are adequately trained and aligned with the procedural standards. One of the key objectives of this workshop is to reinforce procedural discipline. Compliance is not limited to fulfilling statutory requirements. It extends to ensuring that submissions are accurate, verifiable, and aligned with regulatory provisions. RAs are therefore expected to maintain strong internal verification and vetting mechanisms before filing their applications. And this includes verification of employer details, validation of employment contracts and demand letters, consistency between uploaded documents and declared information, and adherence to prescribed timelines. It is also important to note that for effective delivery of services, the response to the observations and queries raised are submitted in a timely manner. Delayed replies to deficiency communications, non-clarification of discrepancies, wrong entries, or failure to update information on time directly impinges on processing efficiency. I would urge all the RAs to institutionalize internal standard operating procedures aligned with regulatory and digital requirements. It can significantly reduce rejection rates and improve turnaround time. It has also been observed that a considerable volume of unnecessary correspondence, including repetitive issues, avoidable representations, and communications on issues already addressed in guidelines or intimated to RAs, consume substantial administrative time and bandwidth. Such exchanges not only slow down workflow efficiency, but also divert attention from priority issues that require our focused attention. I would urge all RAs to carefully examine existing instructions before initiating correspondence and to ensure that communications are precise, relevant, and supported by complete documentation. Streamlined and meaningful communication will enable the office to allocate its time and resources towards more productive and value-driven functions, thereby enhancing overall system efficiency. I would also like to touch upon the changes in the immigration clearance randomization process introduced recently. During the initial phase of implementation, the revised system led to slowing down of EC processing in certain cases. However, it is important to appreciate that this reform has been introduced with the long-term objective of ensuring greater transparency, equitable workload distribution, and enhanced scrutiny. This will engender trust and credibility in the entire immigration ecosystem. Any structural reforms, naturally, in a digitally governed environment, requires a period of stabilization and adaptation. While in the beginning, the reform may pose some operational challenges, but I assure you that the new system is more robust with sustainable framework. We continue with your continued support, cooperation, and understanding. The system, I can assure you that the system has already started showing initial signs of efficiency, consistency, and stability. The division will continue to improve systems, issue clarifications wherever necessary, and respond to practical concerns raised by stakeholders. At the same time, we expect adherence to prescribed procedures and proactive compliance from all RAs. In addition to the session on operational aspects of immigration clearance, a dedicated session, as Secretary Ma'am alluded in her remarks, has been organized on illegal recruitment taking place in cyberspace, and this is being done in collaboration with Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, MHA, which is part of this with today's workshop. I would specifically like to thank I4C, especially CEO Rajesh sir and IG Rupa ma'am for their continued support and assistance to OEPG division in tackling illegal cyber recruitment. I encourage you to utilize this workshop to seek clarity on technical aspects, workflow processes, digital functionalities. Constructive feedback from you, from your field experience is valuable in strengthening immigration framework. I wish you all a highly productive and enriching workshop, and thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable observations and perspective. I would like you to kindly wait on stage for a few seconds as I invite Shri Barhat Rahul Manhattan, POE Mumbai, to present a planter to PG, sir. लेके जाना पूजा